1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6.
7,
8, 9,
10. Hi, I'm Chase McGee, and I'm going to be doing my informative speech on how to service your car and why it's important. There are many ways to service your car. Mostly there's two options. You can do it yourself or you can take it somewhere else, but the second option is usually more expensive, and you can always get online to figure out answers to your questions that you don't know about how to service your car. If you're not exactly sure on what to do, this might help you. There are many things to do, but one of them is to change your oil. According to how often to change your oil by AAA.com, the oil should be changed very often in cars, which is usually every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. And according to 5 things to know about changing your oil for your car on ConsumerReports.com, in order to get an accurate reading on the dipstick, make sure your vehicle is on level ground when checking the oil. If your vehicle leaks oil, it is important to find the leak as soon as possible and fix it. While this isn't always an easy job, but it can determine the life of your car and if you get your money's worth out of it. Another thing to check for when servicing your vehicle is the tire pressure. It is important to check the tire pressure once a month or before going on long road trips. When a tire is low, do not fill it to the PSI on the sidewall of the tire. Each car has a recommended tire pressure for their load range of the tire. Another thing to check for on your tires before a long road trip or every once a month is the tire tread. You would want to make sure that it is evenly worn and not cut or have any holes in it. Another thing to look for on the tires would be on the sidewall. If your tire is bad or defective, it could have an awkward bulge or poke out on the sidewall, and you would need to get this fixed as soon as possible. According to how to replace your brake pads on BridgestoneTires.com, an important thing to check for on your car or truck is your brakes, as everybody needs these to stop, and without them, you could cause a collision that could hurt you or many other people. They should be checked at least twice a year or more frequently if you drive often. If the brake pads are low, then it's time to change them, and when they get low, they usually make a high-pitched squealing noise, or it's harder to stop and your brake pedal will go further to the floor. If your rotors or brake drums are scored or warped from not having them machined every time you change your brake pads, then you might have to get new ones if they cannot machine them to fix them. The machining process is a process. It puts them in the machine and it spins them and grinds away parts of the metal and to make them smooth again. According to 5 things to know about oil changes for your car by Consumer Reports, it is also important to check your transmission fluid. To check the fluid accurately, the engine needs to be running and warmed up. Some cars require the transmission fluid to be changed, while others do not. On the vehicles that require a transmission fluid or filter change, it is usually around 36,000 miles, but some cars can go for 100,000 or more before it's time for them to get changed. Another thing to look for when servicing your cars is to make sure all of your lights, like your headlights, tail lights, and blinkers are working and in order, or else you could get pulled over. My final point is to check your air filter, because it is important for your car to get cold air and enough air when running. In conclusion, there are many things to check on your car to make sure it is serviced and ready for the road, but these are only just a few. Make sure to keep your car serviced to make sure you get as much life out of it as you can. Thank you for your time.